You have done enough for one day. Whatever remains unfinished can remain exactly where it is until morning. There is no need to sort through it now. No need to rehearse tomorrow or return to anything that has already passed. For these next quiet moments, you may let your body be supported. You can shift slightly if that brings more comfort. You might let your hands rest open. You might allow your eyes to close, or let the room around you become soft and indistinct. There is no effort required here. Notice the breath that is already moving through you. It arrives without being called. It leaves without needing permission. You may feel the small rise and fall of the body, or simply listen and let breathing take care of itself. Perhaps the muscles around your forehead can become less busy. Your jaw may loosen. Your shoulders may settle away from your ears. Let the weight of your arms be carried. Let your back and hips be supported. Your legs do not have to take you anywhere now. The day can recede like a shoreline scene from a quiet window. Details grow smaller. Voices become distant. The horizon widens. And somewhere in the gentle space behind your eyes, you become aware of a road leading toward the sea. It is early evening. The sky is pale gold near the horizon and soft blue above. Low grasses move beside the road, and beyond them the sea lies calm and shining. At the end of the road stands a small cottage. Its walls are whitewashed. Its roof is gray slate, and a climbing rose reaches around the front window. The cottage is not isolated. Farther along the coast, other warm windows glow among the dunes, but this house has been prepared especially for you. A wooden gate opens easily beneath your hand. The garden path is lined with thyme and small white flowers. Their scent rises faintly in the warm air. Near the door, a brass lantern hangs from a hook. It is not yet lit. The key waits beneath a smooth blue stone on the windowsill, exactly where the caretaker said it would be. You unlock the door and step inside. The cottage receives you with warmth. A narrow hall opens into a sitting room with a wide window facing the water. A deep chair stands beside the hearth. Shelves hold a few well-loved books, a bowl of seashells, and a small clock whose ticking is nearly too soft to hear. The kitchen is simple and bright. A loaf of bread rests beneath a cloth. A jar of honey catches the last light. On the table is a tray with tea, a blue ceramic cup, and a folded note. You open it. Welcome. The evening lantern is ready by the door. When the sun reaches the water, you may carry it to the covered lookout at the end of the garden. Light it there if you like. Bring it back whenever you are ready. Everything else can wait. The message asks very little. You pour warm water into the cup and let the tea rest. A mild fragrance rises, perhaps chamomile, perhaps lemon leaf, perhaps something made only in this quiet place. You carry the cup to the window. Outside, the sea moves in long, smooth bands. The waves do not break loudly. They fold onto the shore and draw away, leaving a thin silver edge behind. The breath arrives. The sea comes in. The breath leaves. The sea returns. No rhythm needs to match perfectly. It is enough that both continue. You drink slowly or simply hold the warmth between your hands. On the window seat lies a folded blanket in the color of sand. Beside it is a guest book, closed with a ribbon. You may read it later or not at all. The cottage is not asking to be explored quickly. Still, it is pleasant to know its rooms. A small doorway leads to a dining room with a round table and 2 chairs. A vase holds grasses gathered from the garden. Beyond that is a bedroom beneath the sloping roof. The bed is made with white linen and a quilt patterned with pale blue squares. A lamp waits on the bedside table. The window there looks toward a sheltered cove. A line of smooth rocks curves around the water, keeping it calm. A narrow garden path follows the top of the dunes and disappears behind a low hill. At its end, you can just see the roof of the covered lookout mentioned in the note. The sun is lowering now. There is still plenty of light. You return to the hall and lift the brass lantern from its hook. A small box of matches rests in a pocket beneath it, though the lantern does not need to be lit yet. You step back into the garden. The air has cooled only slightly. The path begins behind the cottage, passing beneath an arch of climbing roses. Their petals are pale in the evening. Some remain open. Others have begun to fold inward for the night. The path is firm and level. On one side are the cottage garden and the low stone wall. On the other, grasses bend toward the sea. You walk without hurry. The cottage remains visible behind you, its white walls holding the last sunlight. You always know where home is. At the first turn in the path stands a bench made from weathered wood. Someone has carved a small circle into the armrest, smooth with age. From here, you can see a fishing village farther along the bay. Boats are tied securely in the harbor. Their masts form quiet lines against the sky. One by one, lights appear along the waterfront. You continue. The path crosses a patch of short grass where tiny yellow flowers grow close to the ground. A few moths move above them, slow and pale. They drift away from the path as you pass. The path dips into a sheltered hollow where the wind becomes almost still. Here, a small seaside garden has been planted between the dunes. Low stone borders protect rosemary, sea lavender, and soft gray plants whose leaves seem made to hold moonlight. A narrow channel carries fresh water from a spring into a round basin. Birds use it during the day, but now the surface is quiet. A wooden cabinet stands beneath a sloping roof. Its door is open, revealing folded cushions for the lookout, spare blankets, and a collection of smooth stones gathered from the beach. Each stone has been marked on the underside with a date, though there are no names. You choose one without needing to know why. It is flat and pale, crossed by a single blue line. In your hand, it feels cool and steady. You may carry it to the lookout or return it to the shelf. Either choice is complete. Beyond the garden is a narrow path down to a sheltered pebble cove. A low railing follows it, and the cottage remains visible above. The tide is well out, leaving a broad strip of smooth, dark stones. The water inside the cove is almost perfectly still. You walk only as far as feels easy. Near the top of the cove, a row of sea glass has been arranged on a driftwood shelf by earlier visitors. Green, blue, clear, and amber pieces catch the fading light. No piece is sharp. The sea has softened every edge. A small card beneath the shelf reads, "Take one color with you. Leave one thought with the tide." You do not have to choose a thought. The sound of the water may be enough. A small wave reaches the pebbles, moves a few of them with a gentle hush and draws back. You select a piece of blue sea glass, no larger than a coin. It has the color of the sky just after sunset. You place it beside the pale stone or slip it into a pocket for the cottage windowsill. The lantern remains unlit in your hand, its brass catching the last gold of the evening. You return to the main path. The hollow garden closes around its quiet basin, the pebble cove settles below, and ahead, the covered lookout comes fully into view. It is a simple wooden shelter with a sloping roof and open sides. A wide bench faces the sea. A small table stands in one corner, and on it rests a lantern hook, waiting. You place the brass lantern there. By now, the sun has reached the horizon. It appears to rest on the water, round and warm, making a path of gold that stretches from the far distance almost to the shore below. You strike one match. The flame is small and steady. It catches the lantern wick, and a soft amber glow fills the glass. The lookout now holds two kinds of light. The last golden light of the day. The first warm light of evening. You sit on the bench. There is no need to watch the exact moment of sunset. You may notice it, or let it happen while your attention wanders. On the table lies a narrow book protected by a blue cover. A pencil is tied to it with string. The first page explains that visitors sometimes leave one quiet sentence about the sea. You turn a few pages. The water was silver before dawn. A seal rested near the far rocks. The fog lifted, and the village appeared. We watched 3 white sails return home. Nothing dramatic has been recorded, only small moments that someone wanted to remember. You find a blank line and write, in whatever words feel natural. The sea was calm, and the cottage light was waiting. Perhaps you do not write at all. Perhaps you only imagine the sentence and let it belong to the evening. The sun slips below the horizon. The gold path on the water becomes rose, then violet, then silver beneath the rising moon. The lantern beside you grows warmer as the world around it darkens. A few stars appear. The village lights remain steady. The cottage window glows behind you. Someone must have left a lamp on before your arrival, or perhaps the cottage simply knows when its guest is on the path. You sit for a little longer. The sea continues its gentle movement. No wave is trying to arrive first. Each one comes as far as it comes, then returns. Your thoughts may do the same. They may reach the shore of your attention. They may fade into the wider night. You lift the lantern from its hook. The walk back is even easier. The path is familiar now. The lantern light rests on the grasses, then on the little yellow flowers, then on the weathered bench. The cottage grows closer with every step. Its front window shines warm against the blue evening. The white walls have taken on the color of moonlight. The climbing rose makes a soft shadow near the door. You return the lantern to its hook in the hall. The house seems complete with it there. In the kitchen, the tea is still warm enough. The bread waits beneath its cloth. You may break off a small piece and add a little honey, noticing the simple sweetness, the soft texture, the comfort of something prepared in advance. There is no meal to cook, no dishes that must be done tonight. The cottage has already made room for rest. You carry the lantern into the sitting room and set it on the low table. Its glow reaches the chair, the shelves, and the bowl of shells. One shell is shaped like a small spiral. You lift it and hold it near your ear, not expecting the whole sea, only a faint hush that resembles distance. You place it back. The guest book on the window seat opens easily beneath your hand. The entries are brief. A traveler who stayed during spring wrote about daffodils in the garden. Someone who came in autumn remembered the smell of apples baking. A child drew the cottage with smoke curling from the chimney and an enormous moon above the roof. On the final written page, the caretaker has left a message. Every guest adds something, even when they write nothing. A chair remembers being used. A window remembers being looked through. A room becomes warmer because someone rested there. You close the book. On the lower shelf beneath the window is a wooden puzzle box. Its lid is not locked. When you lift it, you find a simple map of the bay made from pieces of colored wood. The village is a cluster of amber squares. The harbor is deep blue. The cottage is a small white shape near the dunes. One piece is missing from the water near the lookout. The blue sea glass from your pocket fits there almost perfectly. You place it in the space, and the map becomes complete, not because the glass was meant for it, but because quiet evenings often allow ordinary things to belong together. The pale stone from the garden rests beside the cottage shape. Its blue line points toward the harbor. You leave both pieces there. Another guest may find them tomorrow and imagine a different story. Near the hearth is a small washroom with a deep basin and a jug of warm water. A folded towel waits on a rail. You may imagine washing the last salt of the day from your hands, feeling the warmth move through your fingers and wrists. The simple act marks no boundary you must cross. It is only another way the cottage offers comfort. Back in the sitting room, you add one small piece of wood to the hearth. The flame receives it without flaring. A gentle warmth moves through the room. The lantern on the table and the fire in the hearth make 2 soft centers of light. Between them, the cottage feels sheltered and complete. Your evening has already been added. The lantern carried to the lookout. The calm sea observed. The path walked home. Nothing more is needed. Before going upstairs, you notice a narrow door beside the hearth. It opens onto a small sunroom at the side of the cottage. During the day, this room must be bright, but now the windows hold the blue evening. A wicker chair faces the sea. Shelves display pieces of driftwood, jars of beach sand in different colors, and framed sketches of the bay. One sketch shows the cottage before the climbing rose was planted. Another shows the covered lookout beneath a full moon. A third is unfinished, containing only the curve of the shore and the first lines of the village roofs. On a small desk is a box of colored pencils. The blue pencil lies outside the box, sharpened and ready. You add nothing to the sketch, but you place the blue sea glass beside it. In the lantern light, the glass casts a pale patch across the unfinished water. The sunroom has a daybed beneath the longest window. A folded quilt rests there, and for a moment you may imagine lying down without going any farther. The cottage would be content with that choice. Yet the bedroom upstairs is waiting too. You carry the lantern into the hall. The staircase curves beneath the sloping roof. On the first landing, a round window looks toward the village. The harbor lights now form a gentle arc along the shore. A linen cupboard stands open just enough to reveal stacks of towels and blankets. Each shelf carries a small label written in faded ink. Summer cotton, winter wool, picnic cloths, extra pillows. The simple order is soothing. Everything has a place and nothing needs to be moved. At the top of the stairs is a tiny reading nook beneath the eaves. A low shelf holds 3 books. One is about coastal gardens. One is a collection of recipes. One contains paintings of the sea at different hours. You open the last book near the middle. The painting shows a calm night sea with a single warm window above it. There is no boat, no figure, no event. Only water, sky, and the knowledge that someone is resting inside. You close the book and leave it on the shelf. Then you take the lantern into the bedroom. The lamp beside the bed remains off. The lantern is softer. You place it on the windowsill. From there, it reflects faintly in the glass, making a second lantern that seems to float above the sheltered cove. You settle beneath the quilt, or allow the imagined quilt to blend with whatever is already covering you. The pillow is cool and comfortable. The room holds the mild scent of clean linen and sea air. Through the window, the water is now a dark, gentle blue. The line of rocks around the cove is barely visible. Village lights shine farther along the shore. No one is calling. No one is waiting for you to do anything. The cottage door is closed. The gate rests in the garden wall. The path lies quiet among the grasses. The covered lookout holds an empty bench and the sentence you left behind. The sea was calm, and the cottage light was waiting. You may let those words become simpler. Calm sea. Waiting light. Warm room. The moon rises a little higher, and its reflection appears on the cove. The line of light trembles, gathers, and stretches toward the cottage. Perhaps a dream begins there. Perhaps the moonlit path on the water leads to another peaceful shore, with gardens growing close to the sand and windows glowing beneath trees. Perhaps there is a village where every road curves gently home. Perhaps there is only the wide calm sea, carrying silver light without effort. You do not need to decide. The night can choose its own images. The story has returned you to the cottage. It does not need another chapter. The lantern flame becomes smaller. The reflection in the window becomes softer. The village lights blur into warm points. The sea continues, quiet and steady. Your breathing continues in its own way. In, out, shore, sea, warm light, soft room, nothing to finish, Nothing to carry back down the path. Only the cottage beside the quiet sea. Only the lantern at the window. Only the gentle water moving beneath the moon while you rest.